Hey guys, welcome back to your Fast and Curious podcast. I'm your host Grant, and I'm here with,
Alina.
and today we're going to be talking about the North Carolina State Fair since it is coming up. The North Carolina State Fair starts on October 17th,
And
which
it runs
is
through the 27th.
for the 27th. It starts. It's about a month.
Mm-hmm.
So some history about the North Carolina State Fair before we get into what we like to do and everything. It started in 1853. That's when the very first one was hosted, and it has gone through all the way up to present day. It's only stopped running for the Civil War and World War II, so it's stayed pretty consistent throughout time. So some of the things you can do there's rides, there's shows, concerts, food, exhibits, competitions. You get to see all sorts of different type of people and animals. It's really cool. And so how about Alina? You tell us what the record attendance was.
1,019,738 people in 2015.
In 2015. I feel like we're gonna beat that this year. I don't know. I feel like that's not gonna last. Like I feel like we're gonna go over that. So it's held by the Department of Agriculture for North Carolina, and they light off fireworks every night. It's it's a really cool event. It's right around. So you have the buildings. You have our Dorton Arena, the Graham Scott Building, and all. And they host tons of animal competitions with like cattle and tractors. Yeah, I know they do like horse shows too and everything.
Don't they have one for hay? Just one they have thing for hay, like who has the best hay?
Probably, I would think so. They do who has the biggest pumpkin, watermelon, all that stuff. Then there's yesteryear where you walk through. It's like a circular building, so you walk in a circle. And you have tons of vendors that make products to sell, but they make it in how you would do it, like back in like the 1800s, like hand woven, hand carved, all that stuff. So what's your favorite part about the fair? What do you like to do the most?
The food. I like to eat.
Yeah, that's probably mine too. What's your favorite food at the fair?
Definitely either the deep fried Oreos or the big bucket of chocolate chip cookies.
I love the deep fried Oreos. Those are so good. I think my favorite would either be the deep fried Reese's or the giant turkey legs. Yeah, I know it's bad, but I love the corn, the corn that they have there.
The hot dog.
Oh yeah, the foot long hot dogs they have are killer.
Basically anything deep fried, anything unhealthy.
Yeah, if it's unhealthy, we deep fry it, and you can find it.
They'll probably find a way to like deep fry a salad.
Yeah. They you ever gone in and seen like the bunnies that they have?
No, are they like really big though?
Yeah, so they have competitions for who has like the prettiest looking bunny or like the biggest bunny and everything. And they have competitions for like every animal. And
they have bizarre booths too. I remember last year when I went, they had this lady and she's like heart snakers.
Yeah, those are definitely not
Or
real.
like the smallest woman in the world.
I think those are really cool, but at the same time, come on. But
Oh, they also have bingo booths. If you're into bingo, I'm into bingo. I won last year. I got a blanket.
People take those things seriously too. That gets intense. It gets cutthroat. So what I also love seeing they have a thing where you walk through and you can see grizzly bears. They have like a bear thing. Yeah.
Like actual bears.
Yeah, real bears.
Like real bears.
Yeah, and you get like this close to them. Like there's a little thing of glass holding you between them. They're huge. Those things are massive. And I love there's tons of free samples you get to try. Like every company you can think of is out there handing out free samples.
State Fair is huge. It covers a lot of ground.
Yeah, it's kind of a workout. Like even though you're eating all this ton of unhealthy stuff, you're really working out, walking all around and all.
Your calories, getting your steps in.
So do you have like a favorite ride at the State Fair?
I don't go on many rides because I get motion sickness really bad. But I'm also scared of heights. So I kind of stick to little kiddie rides, and even on them, they sometimes get me a little too high. I'm gonna have to take a break, drink some water,
take some Dramamine or something like that. My favorite ride is the Ferris wheel.
I haven't been on the Ferris wheel. I know they have a bunch, don't they, like scattered throughout the park?
Yeah, they have
one really big one.
Yeah, they have quite a few. But some of the rides there are kind of sketchy. I don't know.
Yeah, very sketchy.
I look at them and I'm thinking, oh, I would not get on that. They would not pay me enough to get on that.
Oh, I like the drop one. I will say I do like that one.
Yeah.
You like go up really slowly and then it'll drop you down a little bit. That one gets your blood going.
So they have they have different shows. They have shows that happen all the time. And one of my favorites is the animal show where they have like the trained dogs and stuff. And do a bunch of tricks and like it's really cute.
Where is that held?
It's like back past Dorton Arena, kind of in the back of the state fairground. It's so big. Like
it really is.
I've been every year since I was like 5 or 6 years old, and I still see new stuff every year.
I went last year and I don't know half the stuff that you're talking about, to be honest.
Yeah, there's so much to do there. And one year I got cotton candy made from beeswax and like honey from bees. It was weird. It wasn't bad.
It's kind of impressive, actually.
Yeah, it just tasted kind of weird though. My mom every year makes me get her a candy apple. That's like her favorite thing from the fair. So, on to a less
exciting subject.
Yeah, not as good as a thing. There has been, every year you're gonna get like your normal accidents like heat stroke or so the stupid stuff like that. But I don't mean to say that in a bad way. It's just like people shouldn't get to that point. Like drink some water, people. Come on, take a break.
It's a less serious thing.
Yeah, but back in 2013, I remember this because it scared the crap out of me. 2013, there were 5 people between the ages of 14 and 39 that were injured on this ride called the Vortex, and we'll probably put a picture of it or just show you what it would do and what it looks like. But the operator accidentally turned it on while the people were getting off of it, and I remember it was all over the news. They shut down the fair for like a day, and it was terrible. People, that was probably like the record amount of like the record low for turnout in recent times was probably that year. But that scared me. Like I didn't want to ride like any rides after that.
Do you know if it was by accident? Right, it was probably by accident.
Oh yeah, it was by accident. It's just that's one of the things that kind of like scares me at the fair is like I don't feel like the people are as trained as they should be. But nothing's happened since. I think it's gotten a lot. Like after that, it kind of was like they cracked down on it a lot more.
Yeah.
You ever play any of the games, like the arcade games, try to win prizes?
I like the balloon one where you throw the darts at the balloons. That one's a good one.
There's one where they hand out goldfish, and it's super easy. It's like a ton of bowls, and you like just throw a ping pong ball, and you just have to get a ping pong ball in one of the bowls.
You know a lot of fair games are actually rigged to where you can't win, and it makes you spend more money on them.
Yeah, they're like purposely addicting.
I hate that.
Yeah, but
it gets you so into it. You really just want to win, but like deep down, you're not gonna win.
I feel like they get a bunch of guys because guys want to win something for like
they're girls.
Yeah, but I remember me and my dad. You pay like $5 and you get 40 ping pong balls, and it's like 100 bowls, and it's so easy. We won 2 goldfish. They died within like a day.
Some Walmart goldfish.
Yeah, they were Walmart goldfish. I don't know. They didn't live very long, but it was very, very sad, very, very tragic day.
Did you name the goldfish?
I don't remember if I named them or not. Maybe not. I didn't want to get too attached to them because I didn't think they were gonna last very long. But we go to Cleveland High School, and Cleveland High School there is a giant art exhibit at the fair, and Cleveland High School does have artists that get their work put up at the fair.
It's very impressive.
I'm on the soccer team, and Alina's on the girls' soccer team, and Rico, Bueno, who is on the boys soccer team, actually had one of his
Really?
art pieces on display at the state fair last
His
year.
art is really good. I was looking at it the other day.
Yeah, and so I remember going and seeing that last year. Hopefully he has some up this year too.
Don't we also have a lot of students that participate in like the cattle contest?
Yes, and I think our FFA, the FFAs in the area, FFA did
Future
the
Farmers of America.
yeah, they each high school that has an FFA runs like a big like petting zoo that kids can go through, and I think like every day a different FFA from different high school runs it. So like West Johnson does one day, and then Cleveland does another day. But yeah, so Cleveland we have a bunch of people that do stuff at the state fair. Maybe Hunter Lee have his watermelons there. Oh, I really hope Hunter Lee has his watermelons. But they have a garden walkthrough where people have like their flowers and like different like garden stuff that they enter into competitions.
Yeah, I have no idea what this stuff is.
Yeah,
I definitely need to go with you this year.
Yeah, it's I know where all the cool stuff is, and then it's so weird because it sounds like kind of boring, but like it's really cool seeing all like the vegetables that people enter in competitions, like monster jalapenos.
And
like
these people are so
thing.
proud of their product that they bring in.
I mean, I would be too. I'd be like, hey, look, there's my jalapeno, or like there's my
jalapeno.
Yeah, there's my green bell pepper that I grew that was like on steroids. But I love seeing. I think last year was the first year I actually went and saw like the horse shows, and those are crazy. They have these ginormous, biggest horses I've ever seen in my life. I mean, like you can't even get on them. Like they're enormous, and they pull weights. They pull like over a ton, like across.
It must hurt them, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they can't do it, they stop. And that's like, I mean, but like that's like the competitions to see how far. Like you got to pull a certain weight, a certain distance. But it is crazy amount of weight, and they're like the weights have to be pulled in on a tractor. It's so heavy, like they have to be picked up by like and pulled by a tractor. But
it would be cool if they had like little carriage rides.
Yeah.
Around the fair. That probably wouldn't be the smartest thing because it gets so congested at the fair. Even like no matter how big it is, it's always so many people.
Yeah, that's the one thing that people don't like about the state fair is just the sheer amount of people.
Because there's so many booths and it's so congested there. It's really
So like sometimes it can be hard to find a place to eat, but there are sit down places where you can go inside and eat and all, and you just gotta get there at the right time.
I found this little. It reminded me of like a school cafeteria, but they just had like the basic like hamburgers and they had mashed potatoes and gravy, like the barbecue, and there were just a bunch of old people in there.
Yeah.
So I felt kind of weird that I walked in there.
The food, like all the food is so good.
It really is.
Some of the stuff you look at it, you read it, and you're like, "Ooh, that doesn't sound."
Like it does not look appetizing, but then you see it, like someone else has it, and you're like, well, maybe that could be good.
Yeah, like you want to try it just to say that you tried it. Like that was how I was with deep fried Reese's, and it ended up being really good. I was like, wow, like this is dope. But you can go. There's so many different things you can do. Like the little things, like there's so many little things. Like you can go and get. I love getting the free samples of the pickles and like the peanuts, the hard boiled peanuts and everything.
I love hard boiled peanuts.
Yeah, my dad. Whenever he was a kid, he would go with his friend, and they didn't have any money, so they would just go since they couldn't afford to buy any food there. They would just go round and round through the free samples and just keep getting samples over and over again.
Not gonna lie, that fair food is kind of expensive though.
Yeah,
you eat too much and pockets start hurting.
Yeah, and then the tickets that they sell now are kind of expensive. And they've built the this carriage that carries you, the cable sky thing, sky ride, and
it's like the ones that they have when you're in the mountains and you're trying to go skiing.
Yeah, or like when you go to a amusement park and it like carries you across the park and all. It was cool. It was really cool because you get to see like how just the sheer size of the fair and all.
Huge.
But it was kind of sketchy. Like,
really?
I mean, you don't want to like move or anything while you're on it. But I don't know. I mean,
I wonder how long it takes them to set everything up.
That is something. It's gotta take a long time. It's gotta be a while.
They probably do it by sections.
Yeah. I think that about covers everything. You know. Oh, one more thing. There is the can day where you bring in, if you bring in canned goods, you get in like it's either for free or a discount, like it's cheaper. That's the busiest day of the fair.
Really?
Yeah, for sure, because everybody comes in bringing canned foods.
When would you say is the best time to attend the fair?
I don't want to condone leaving school, but every year my dad gets me out of school early, and we go to the fair.
Do you like to go like when it's still daylight outside and then wait for the
Oh,
sun
for
to set
sure.
and get
I
to
would
the
go.
fair?
I would go like at like 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning.
Really?
Yeah. So you get there and it's like it's not as hot
Mm-hmm.
because it gets hot during the day because there's not a lot of shade. Like it's the sun's just beating down on it
Yeah.
and you're walking around a ton. But me and my dad would always get me out of school and like you think that like that's too early. Like you're gonna be like you're not gonna be there like while it gets dark out and all. But like there's so much to do. And if you take breaks when you get tired, then you can like sit down and eat and like take your time when you eat because you have plenty of time to do stuff. And I'd say the best days is during a weekday, like a school day. Go like when you like
Once again, does not condone skipping
don't
school.
condone skipping school, but like maybe get your parents' permission, and go to the state fair instead because it's really educational. You learn so much about your state and like you get to support a lot of like local farmers and stuff like that. That's one thing I love about the state fair is it really supports local farmers, and you get to meet WRL people too.
Oh, I think I was in the news last year. I was walking.
Really?
Yeah. There was a news lady in front of me, and I didn't even realize. I almost bumped into her. I was like, "Oh my god."
Never mind. I mean, yeah. Sorry, there was some random noise outside I kept hearing. It's weird, but I mean, yeah, it's so cool. And you get to see you learn a lot about your state. Like you learn a lot about North Carolina from it. So I think about wraps it up. It's been Grant,
And Alina?
and we'll see you on the next podcast. Evan.
Little baby.